welcome back to another episode of the Lonely Liberal Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Zankin, and I'm so happy to have you on this lovely Sunday evening. We got a great show for you today. Rick and I are going to go through the news per usual, like we do every Sunday, and we got a lot to talk about. So without further ado, let's get to it. Alrighty, and we are back with Rick. Rick, what's up, man?
Hey, not much. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. So I wanted to start the show. So we got a question last week that I forgot to ask you, so I figured I could just lead with it because it was more topical last week.
Yeah, let's hear it.
It's about Halloween. So Connor, who wrote from parts, I don't know whether he's writing in from, but I got an email from Connor. Hello, Connor. Also, if you're writing emails in, let us know where you're writing in from so we know where we're talking. You know what I mean? I like to know where they're from.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, well, hello, Connor. So he asked us if we did anything fun for Halloween. And I just wanted to, we never really talked about Halloween. So I was curious, Rick, did you do anything fun for Halloween? And did you dress up?
I didn't really dress up. So I went trick-or-treating with my niece and nephew who are 2 and 5 years old. So it was the 2-year-old's first time trick-or-treating. So that was fun. We went in a good neighborhood, like where there was, a lot of kids that age trick-or-treating. And it was fun. I did the bare minimum, which is more than I did last year. Last year, I didn't wear anything Halloween related. This year, I wore a cowboy hat.
Oh, hello, so, Cowboy Rick.
Minimal effort, but I did wear something. Did you do anything?
Now I'm thinking about you in a cowboy hat. That's a great shot. Yeah, I did. I went to a Halloween party hosted by a regular Lonely Liberal guest, Jesse himself. He had a Halloween party, a small but very lovely done Halloween party, which was fun. It was a good time. They went all out decorating, which was pretty impressive. Like a lot of themes, a lot of decorated food items. I didn't know he had that in him. that degree of party planning. That. Well, the listeners would know him and I lived together. We never did anything for Halloween. So I'm imagining this was driven by his new wife, Raquel. But yeah, there was a little funny story from there. So at the party, there was this, like I said, it was not a big group, like maybe 10 people, right? And there was a part of the party where we were playing charades, right? And they were like Halloween, it was like Halloween themed charades. And, I'm not a charade guy. I'm not really a game guy in these moments. And I'm not a costume guy. I went as Drake May, by the way. I just wore my Drake May jersey, which got a couple of daps on the subway, which is cool, but a terribly lazy costume because I don't like dressing up either. So anyways, we're playing charades and they're all like the theme of the charade is like ways you can die is like every card. So people are acting out like outlandish ways someone could die, like kind of like the movie's Final Fantasy. Mm-hmm. Final Destination, rather. Sorry, not Final Fantasy. So anyway, I'm kind of joking around with my answers, and I'm getting some laughs. I'm saying some silly answers to people doing charades, but this one girl who was there was so pissed. Every time I would submit a non-serious answer, she was like, "You're ruining the integrity of the game." Like, obviously, he said 3 words, you said 4. Like, she's actively like scolding me, like as we're playing the game, and I don't know what to do because I don't know who she is. Other people are laughing, but then I start wondering, are they pity laughing? Like, is this like, am I just like getting like pity laughs? So then I'm nervous and I start getting in my own head, but I really feel like I was kind of on. And so she guesses one. So she guesses a thing that was one more word than the allotted word. You know how they say like 3 words. She guessed like a 4-word thing. And I, of course, being a sassy bastard, went, "Ooh, 1 word too many." and she gave me this glare, and 5 minutes later she left.
Wow.
So I don't know if I don't know what happened, but yeah, it pretty much. I think that might be my last Halloween party forever. I think I'm hanging it up.
Yeah, this is a follow-up question. How old is too old to trick or treat? Obviously, I'm not talking about going with children or whatever, but
you're talking about going alone.
Yeah, going alone, just with your friends. How old? When's the cutoff?
When did low middle school, maybe 12, 11?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Like that?
Yeah, I was gonna say end of middle school. Like trick or treating in high school seems a little bit too old.
Well, it's funny. Halloween in general has become like a very popular holiday for people to say it's their favorite holiday. And I feel like it's almost like the Urban Outfitters of holidays, where like it's like a fake hipster answer. You know what I mean? Like people don't want to say Christmas because it's too obvious, or Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? So they found this indie holiday, but then everyone got word of it, so now everyone says it. So it's actually the most popular holiday to say, which I can understand for kids and even college kids, but I really don't understand it for adults.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
And I know a lot of listeners are going to be mad. They love dressing up. They love spooky season. And I get the fall is nice for a few weeks. I get it. But come on. Oh, I'm so creepy. Ooh. Give me a break.
Yeah, I think
it's just so freaking. I don't know. I don't like it. I'm a hater. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, the last time ever I went trick or treating with friends, I want to say it was probably 7th grade, and me and my 2 friends, Jeff and Walker, us 3, we all dressed up as Michael Jackson.
Oh. Even scarier now. The more we find out about it.
Oh, it was scary back then. And a surprising amount of adults answering the door asked us to dance for them throughout the night. Like when they either said like, "Oh, what are you dressed up as?" or they knew by the costumes, and they would be like, "Can you dance for us?" And then it's like, "All right, let me do a moonwalk and crotch grab on your front steps real quick."
For a Twix bar.
Yeah.
I mean, my parents are good about candy. They go full bar, serious.
I love that. I love the big.
They really want to be like the house. You know what I mean? They're really interested in that. I don't know if they ever get the output they want. I don't think people come up our street that much, but they really want it.
Yeah.
They have a lot of They really went all out this year too. But yeah, anyways, I thought that was a good question from Connor. I mean, we didn't bring up Halloween at all. We never had our spooky episode.
Yeah, true. And yeah, people, listeners keep sending in questions about literally anything. We love it.
Well, we have another one, a politics one that I want to save for the end. So don't tune off now. What do they always say on YouTube? Stay glued to the seat. We're going to hear something wild later. So get ready. But we have actually a really kind of a good news week with a lot of positive news stories, and most of them are around the elections that happened this week. And we should start with the big one. We don't wait to the end for the big stories. We can start off hot. And that is our boy Zohran Mamdani wins the New York City mayor election. He wins with 50% of the vote. Cuomo got 42%, which is still pretty good. And Curtis Sliwa, also known as Jojo Siwa around these parts, got 7%. This is an interesting election for so many reasons, but obviously Zohran is someone we really like around here around these parts. But also Trump had endorsed Cuomo a few days before, which is interesting, seeing that Cuomo policy-wise is pretty similar to a Chuck Schumer, I would say. But yeah, so much to talk about, but what are your thoughts off the jump?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the demographic breakdown of the results. A lot of that usually doesn't come out for a couple weeks after. I tried finding it, and everything was just about the primary from a couple months ago, the Cuomo-Mamdani primary. So I'm looking forward to kind of more of the data to come out. I did see that exit polling on election day showed self-identified Republicans voted Cuomo over Sliwa 61 to 35%. Donald Trump, I don't know if we mentioned this, Donald Trump endorsed Cuomo one day before the election, saying he's a bad Democrat, but he's better than a communist.
What an interesting, sick. But it worked, right? I mean, he got the votes.
It really did work. I mean, the fact that the Republican only got 7%, it's kind of crazy. And the disgraced Democratic governor, who was the face of COVID lockdowns, got Trump support and MAGA support. And so kind of surprising, but it was a landslide pretty much a landslide win, as expected. He absolutely destroyed Cuomo amongst young people under 40. So a lot of it was kind of as we expected based on the primary results, but I think there's a lot of takeaways from it. I think obviously the biggest one should be Zohran's relentless focus on affordability, which, you know, is kind of a subset of the economy in general as an issue. Won him a New York election clearly, despite being super young, being the first Muslim to win. So, and being a democratic socialist, that he really owns that label. So the fact that he was able to overcome like all these hurdles, the establishment being against him, with just a relentless focus on affordability, I think should kind of serve as somewhat of a blueprint for Democrats moving forward. What were your thoughts about it?
Yeah, a lot of the same. I mean, one thing that we know is that the turnout topped over 2 million votes, which is one of the highest voter turnouts in decades. And like you said, he won 4 out of the 5 boroughs. He lost Staten Island, which is where Cuomo is like based out of. I guess that's where his base is. So not only did he win, he won with the high turnout, which is usually when these types of things happen, you know, these upsets or things like that, because usually the incumbent wins with lower voter turnout. So like, not only does it show that this kind of affordability centered blueprint, like you were saying, not only resonates with just Democrats in general, but it actually excited people to come out and vote, which has really been an issue for the Dems when they don't have an exciting candidate. You know what I mean? Like, this is something we've talked about a lot on the show. So it shows you that does have a, you know, kind of a way of making people motivated to go vote, which is super exciting because, like you said, I mean, the attacks on this guy were relentless and from basically everywhere. I mean, not just from the communists, the Muslim stuff, just him being South Asian in general, and his college stuff from the New York Times, and people saying he was going to be forcing everyone to wear hijabs and blah, blah, blah. I mean, like, the propaganda against this guy was brutal. And the fact that his platform was so well communicated and also so exciting for people, I mean, pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And he's just, as far as like media and PR goes, this is the best campaign I've seen since Obama. Honestly.
Since Obama, I was gonna say the
like
same thing.
He so commanded every stage he was on, and he went on every podcast he possibly could. Conservatives, centrists, comedians, like any podcast that would have him, he would
Except
go on.
Ours.
Invites
fair,
open.
Not blame him. Yeah,
Invites open.
If he wants to do a victory lap, we'll let him go up. Yeah. I never reached out to his media team, so maybe that's on me.
Yeah, and a lot of it is just like it. He also didn't focus on Trump as much as you might think he would, and we're gonna talk about the big Democrats' wins for governors next. They did focus more on Trump, but Mamdani's real focus was affordability. Like, there's no, like, if you had heard anything he has said or watched even a clip of 1 minute of him, you would know that his main thing is affordability. Now, obviously, the opponents wanted to make the main thing communism and Islam and Israel and
Anti-Israel
everything else.
stuff.
Yeah,
exactly.
But much like Bernie, he just has like this laser focus on the economy, which I just
Bernie
think is
must
great.
feel so proud, right? Because this is, I mean, while AOC is obviously one of his buddies and a young, very inspiring politician, I mean, this is a huge protege moment, right? Like, Bernie sank a lot of effort into helping Zohran, I feel like. And same with AOC, too.
Yeah, 100%.
They won. I mean, they won. What's so amazing about this is, and, you know, we haven't even really talked about it. I mean, a huge, obvious reason why he was under so much fire was because he wouldn't take PAC money and billionaire money, and all the rumors of he won't work with the billionaires really, I mean, ultimately stem under that. I mean, he has no major donors in that way. So similarly to Bernie and AOC in that way, like he's just kind of can be idea driven when you're not getting puppeteered by some billionaire class. It's also something I wanted to talk about before we move on to the next one, about the Trump endorsement, right? And the MAGA kind of following with the Trump endorsement to Cuomo. I said this earlier when I brought this up, but I wonder if you agree with it. Cuomo and Chuck Schumer, from a policy point of view, are pretty similar, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
So this is the first kind of real sign. I mean, people have said this, but I don't think it's always been so clear that policy is not really a big deal for MAGA as much as we think, in the sense of this. Because, like, if you're a MAGA guy, there's no way in hell you should like Cuomo based off of, what he thinks.
Right, especially given so much of Trump's reelection in 2024 was about Democratic overreach during the lockdowns. And Andrew Cuomo was literally like the face of lockdowns. They were the first city that locked down, the first city that was hit hard by COVID. He was really their number one villain. Right. And the reason they were able to push him to resign in disgrace from governor was, now obviously what snowballed was all these sexual harassment allegations, but it really was combined with the COVID lockdowns and his policy on nursing homes and the elderly during that time. It really was like two of those things. So it's crazy to me that all these Republicans in New York City last minute would just go, yeah, we're not going to vote for the Republican that's tough on crime. We're going to vote for the guy that we called the Antichrist 2 years ago.
Yeah, literally 2 years ago.
Because Father Trump told us to.
Yeah, and it also just shows you that, well, we already knew, I guess, sadly, that the sexual harassment stuff has no impact on vote. I mean, obviously with Trump and all this stuff, like another example how that just does not seem to affect vote turnout for people, which is depressing and devastating, frankly. But more importantly, it kind of gives me a little bit of hope that Trump is really the like kind of the beating heart of the MAGA movement more than the hate policy or the policies in general. So it isn't like this is just an indefinite kind of spin. I mean, it will definitely be tried for a long time from different people, like, the Vances or whatever, but like it's starting to make me feel like this really is a Trump-centered movement almost more than anything. Like an angry and Trump-centered movement,
Yeah, totally.
And then the last thing I wanted to bring up, and we've kind of talked about this on the show before, but so obviously Zohran got the commie label basically from the jump, right? And obviously, people who follow this stuff know, what he was proposing and what even like a true socialist is and yada, yada, yada. It's not the same, but I thought, we've kind of mentioned this, but this is a really good piece of evidence for the things we've been talking about, which is that they're going to call you a commie regardless, right? I mean, they called Kamala Harris Cadre Harris throughout the entire election. And Kamala could not be more, she's so much less progressive than Zohran. I mean, she's a literal cop. You know what I mean? And I'm just wondering, is this just proof that this pandering to the center really doesn't matter? Because no matter what, the media against you is just going to be you're a left-wing communist. No matter, as long as you're named a Democrat, you're going to get that label no matter what.
Right. Yeah, no, I totally agree. And yeah, Hillary was this communist. Obama was a communist. Harris
Biden was a communist. I mean...
Right. Right. There's no point. There's no point in defending yourself and saying what previous candidates have done, like Obama and Biden and Hillary, which is to say, I'm a proud capitalist. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
usually people, whereas Zohran just was like, no, I'm a democratic socialist. I still am. I am. So yeah, people just, it's the boy who cried wolf with Republicans saying everyone's a communist, and nobody believes it anymore. And
they all believe it. Republicans believe it. In the eyes of Republicans, there are wolves everywhere. We're in a city of wolves. and then in the Democrats, you know what I mean? That's the amazing thing. people genuinely think Kamala is a communist. I posted a graph once putting famous political figures on like a political spectrum, like when compared to Europe. And people were like, how dare you say Obama's a centrist? He should be like as far left as possible. This is a man who drone striked his own citizens. You know what I mean? Like, this is a man who I love Obama more than anyone, but there's on a global spectrum, he's a centrist 100%. Like, there's no real, he's center right, if anything.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, so I don't know. Anyway, I cut you off. Sorry, but just, I don't know. Like, I just feel like, there's no need to pander. Like, if you have a centrist view on something, like, that's okay. But, like, why, like, a lot of the times the social programs, in the sense of, like, economic social programs, like Medicare for all or universal health care, or free college and stuff like that, is what is used to fuel the commie label. But, like, those are the popular platforms, period. So who cares, I guess? I don't know. I cut you off. What were you saying?
No, I totally agree. I think, like, in general, ideology doesn't really matter as much as it used to in elections, because Trump has no ideology other than himself. Like, Trump's ideology is I alone can fix all your problems, but he's not a liberal. He's not a conservative. I mean, he's governing like a right-wing authoritarian figure, but that's more so because he found right-wing people around him that would enable his desire for more authoritarian power, more so than any like left or right thing. But yeah, I think we should get into the governor races, because the two Democrats that won governor in New Jersey and Virginia are very moderate Democrats.
Yes.
And they don't try to hide that. So kind of the opposite of Zohran.
Yes. So in New Jersey, we have Mikie Sherrill defeating Jack Ciattarelli. Of course, what a name for a New Jersey governor, Republican. And then in Virginia, we have Abigail Spanberger, which is a pretty big win. First woman elected governor of Virginia. So yeah, like you said, these are both very moderate, like suburban moderate playbooks. So yeah, I mean, you could definitely take these two cases and say this is what they should do.
Right. And what was shocking about both these races is they were both supposed to be pretty close. Like, polling before the election had the Democrats with single-digit leads. Sherrill won in New Jersey 56-42, and Spanberger won in Virginia 57-42. So, like, these are for relatively purple states. I guess you could say now blue-leaning purple states, but a 15% is a massive margin. For context, in the last New Jersey governor election, the Democrat Murphy beat this same Republican, Ciattarelli, by 3%. So the Democrat, and this time she won by 14. So you're seeing these huge swings. And also, Kamala beat Trump in New Jersey last year by 6%. So you're seeing like plus 10% towards Democrat swings in 1 year. And both have things in common. So they both were members of the House that, beginning in 2019, they actually both lived together for their first year in Congress, which is interesting. Spanberger and Sherrill. But they both have security experience. They both joined the New Democrat coalition when they were serving in the House, which is a moderate. It's kind of like the Blue Dog Democrats. And they even got nicknamed the Mod Squad.
Oh my God.
To be, as compared to, the squad of AOC.
Thank you for the Mod Squad.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's interesting just that you can easily see people going on CNN and saying, oh, Zohran made it clear that just be unabashedly left-wing and you could win. But you can also see people going on CNN being like, these candidates proved you have to be relatively centrist.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, for sure.
But the thing that they have in common is affordability. So, like, especially Spanberger made affordability like the centerpiece of her campaign. The campaign released this Affordable Virginia plan with proposals on how they're going to lower costs with healthcare and housing and energy. So like, sure, she's not, a democratic socialist, but she's proposing like concrete progressive policies based around affordability. And she won in this landslide.
Yeah, I think it's also important to let for the listeners, the U.S. already has a lot of socialist programs that exist within it. Like, this idea that the U.S. is just this pure capitalist society is crazy. I mean, look what we do with farms. Look how we subsidize pharmaceuticals. Look at the VA. Look at social, all that stuff. But, like, it's not like you're either one or the other and, like, one's good and one's bad. It's so, like, yeah, like you said, like, even if they're the mod squad, which I can't stand saying out loud, they're still better than the other. And I also think, like, maybe you could argue the left is better for cities and the pragmatic center, labeling is better for the states. It's it's interesting. But I do have this little worry, I guess, and this is an overarching question, I think, that kind of understands this. Because I think you're totally right. You nailed that, especially Spanberger, like, really laid out a very clear platform that she campaigned on. And I think that was one of the biggest problems that, the Dems had with president, right? Like, they just didn't have a clear platform, so they allowed the Republicans to define it for them. My worry is that this kind of do-nothing approach from the Dems, in a lot of ways, specifically kind of reared from Chuck Schumer, is going to be like, okay, like, we just kind of want the main, like, show the world how bad Trump is again, and the House will just come back to us because people are going to hate him so much, so we just kind of have to sit in the background, and just the natural cycle of elections will get us, the House again, and then we can kind of go from there. And it kind of has felt like that's been the strategy, just because, we're 10 months in now to the Trump administration, and, I mean, what have we really seen from the federal level? So while I'm obviously ecstatic that these results went the way they did, I am a little worried that it could, shield, the Schumers of the world from understanding really what's going on here.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and in the governor races, they did talk about Trump a lot more than Mamdani did. Granted, it makes a little more sense. Governors, are going to interact with Trump more than the mayor. But they all will, obviously, because the mayor of New York City is as powerful as other governors, given,
for sure, 100%,
New York.
Yeah.
So that is true, though. Like, I'm sure Chuck Schumer's takeaway from this was Zohran is crazy left-wing, but he's charismatic. That's why he won. But thankfully, these more moderate candidates won, which is really the future. Like, I can definitely see Schumer.
Dems were going to win regardless because, like, Trump is so shitty. You know what I mean? So we just let them feel the pain, and then they'll just recoil back to us like what happened in 2020 or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Just by, like, a natural kind of push and pull rather than, like, people actually want the Dems to govern. And I just feel like that's just a terrible way to think about that. But anyway, yeah, we'll see. I mean, good news nevertheless. And, yeah, I mean, it does show you, though. It's also interesting to think, though, because it's true, too, obviously, that New York City is more left-leaning than the whole state of Virginia or New Jersey, right?
Right.
Especially New Jersey. I feel like New Jersey, I mean, the coast in particular, has really been going right. But yeah, on this note of this kind of midterms election, so California has approved the new House map that they had been kind of proposing over the last few months, Proposition 50. So this allows legislators to redraw the districting. The GOP has since sued the map. So if the map were to go through, it would add up to 5 Democratic seats, likely. Where Republicans, of course, argue this is unconstitutional. So this is the the Democrats counter gerrymandering Texas and the other GOP states. We talked a little bit about this last week. I'm not going to celebrate them rigging the election for them, but I don't think they had any choice based off what has already happened in Texas and Missouri and North Carolina and so on and so on. What do you think, Rick? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was surprised at how much of a landslide it was, 64-35. Like, that's crazy big. And even though it's a really blue state, like, Harris won by 20% in the state. So it was even more of a landslide than that. Yeah, I mean, kind of like we talked about last week, like I think pragmatically, the Democrats have to do this. You have to start playing hardball. When the Republicans are doing this in their states, like, what your only other choice is to take the high road while you lose all your power.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's really worth it. I would love to say, oh, the American electorate is smart and moral enough that in 10 years, they'll realize the Democrats took the high road and didn't give in to gerrymandering, so we'll vote them all into power. But I'm too cynical to believe that.
Yeah, I have no doubt that would not happen. Yeah, I have no faith.
So, like, they have to do it. But as far as making this a top issue among Democrats, I really am against that, because Trump is doing so many awful things that it's hard enough to keep up with that. Then you have to add on actual policies that people want to vote for, like Zohran and rent freezing, and, you know, concrete policies on the economy that would benefit everybody. So, like, it's already a massive struggle to create your own agenda that's going to be popular while attacking Trump constantly. Like, to have this other sort of weird, complex, like, electoral law debate, I just don't think it's worth it. It's too in the weeds for most people, and it's too easy to paint the Democrats as cheating in the same way the Republicans are. So, like, yeah, I'm glad it passed. I think they have to do it, but, like, I don't think this is something the Dems should be running on in the midterms next year.
Yeah, I totally agree. And also, it's so easy to do tit for tat with gerrymandering, right? Well, obviously what makes the recent gerrymandering from the Republican states so unique is that it's mid-decade and the president basically asked for it. But, you know, obviously there are horrible examples of Democrats already gerrymandering different states across. So it's like you can keep going. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like an endless, what about Maryland? What about this? What about that? So gerrymandering is bad overall. It's the mid-decade, midterm, all this drama. And something that you said a few weeks ago, but is, I think, worth repeating, is like comparing it to Texas. I mean, this is a lot more democratic just in general, because they were at least allowed. I mean, they had the people vote if they wanted to do it rather than just doing it. So, yeah, so that is a big difference from the other ones to this. So even though it's not maybe a warm, fuzzy feeling, it's still definitely a little bit more authentic than
right.
Texas.
But I do got to just say something about Gavin Newsom.
Yeah,
since
please.
he was the face of this. I'm happy I'm happy he's fighting with Trump in the way that he is. Like, California is the biggest state. Newsom has a ton of power. Like, he should be fighting hard, just like Chuck Schumer should be fighting hard.
Every single
napping through his job.
Politician. Yeah, holding avocados going, don't you want these for $2?
Right. But like one of the big connected threads between Zohran and Spanberger and Sherrill is that they seemed like genuine outsider candidates who cares about the middle class. Yep. Like that, and you cannot say that about Newsom.
No, you cannot.
You just can't. I mean, when he was chosen as lieutenant governor under Brown years ago, he was already talking about running for president when he had just become the lieutenant governor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His hair looks like was cast in a movie about a sleazy politician.
It looks like he came out of a vat, like someone like cloned him, and he was just like,
right, like I hope he is able to successfully fight Trump.
If anyone's a lizard person, it's him.
Right, but like I genuinely hope he doesn't even run for president. Like, because it's just, this is not...
he will, though, right? I mean, if it continues. I mean, I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen
he will.
in the next 3 years. Yeah,
I think...
you never know, though.
He came out of the womb running for president.
He's been canvassing. Well, I mean, you and I have talked about this on and off the show of just, like, on one hand, you see, like you said, all these 3 candidates and the campaigns they're running, and then you see, you know, Gavin Newsom photoshopped on a great white shark, shirtless, and, you know, making memes, and we're going dark. dark woke. I mean, why was that the strategy over like legit platforms? I don't know. But I feel exactly the same way as you do. I feel like I'll let him anything that's anti-Trump now that can, put mud in the gears, but I wouldn't want him as president. I mean, I'd vote for him over Trump, obviously, but I'd vote for anyone over Trump. I'd vote for you over Trump.
But you'd
make a way better. I mean,
but like we're in the vibes era now. Zohran has the best vibes of any candidate I've seen since Obama.
Yep.
And it's all about vibes in the perception that you're genuine. People don't care about your Reddit posts from 12 years ago. They don't care about your tweets. Like, they don't care that you swore or made an inappropriate joke.
They don't even care if you have sexual harassment charges.
Right.
Like literal crimes. They don't care if you're a convicted felon. Trump, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't matter anymore.
Right. They just want you to be genuine. And for a variety of reasons, Newsom comes off as the least genuine, prominent Democrat at that level, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of anyone.
But I'd still of course I'd vote for him over Trump, though.
I'd vote for him over most candidates. But yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Not a necessarily political thing, but I guess it kind of is since the Doge thing. Speaking of Doge, before we get into the story, I haven't heard a peep about Doge in the last few months. Have you? What happened with that? Are they done? What happened to Big Balls? Oh, yeah, he's at the Social Security office right now. Didn't he get his ass whipped by, like, 12-year-olds?
Yeah.
Isn't that part of the reason why the National Guard was sent to D.C.?
Yeah, Big Balls took that beating.
Big Balls got beat by, like, 13-year-old girls, and then they sent the military. I mean, hey, I'm sure they'd kick my ass too. But anyways, Elon, obviously, being the head of Tesla and stuff like that. This is just a crazy thing. The shareholders of Tesla have approved a $1 trillion performance award, $875 billion after tax, with over 75%. So he is now on track to being the world's first trillionaire. And I just want that to sink in, people to sink that, like, how much money that is and how unbelievable that is happening when the U.S. has 60% of its citizens living paycheck to paycheck. But I just wanted to get your thoughts on this, Rick, as, I know you're a big Elon. Just kidding. You don't like Elon. I'm kidding.
I mean, at first I was like, this is insane because Elon has not been good for Tesla recently, but then I read that like it's very strictly tied to the performance. Like he's not just going to get $1 trillion in Tesla stock by doing what he's currently doing. And most people think Tesla's on the decline, especially in terms of the EV market. But like I read one article where this professor at Harvard Law School said the decision does make sense because of the huge upside to keeping Musk hyper-focused on Tesla.
Yeah.
So when you think about it in that context of the board and the shareholders don't want this dude tweeting neo-Nazi stuff all day. They want him running the company, doing his actual job. And what can motivate him to do that? Like the biggest payday ever. So I think in that sense, it makes sense from like Tesla shareholders' point of view. I will say, like, it doesn't seem that realistic to me, the contingencies, like the things that Tesla has to get done for him to get this $1 trillion. He needs to sell 12 million vehicles a year and deploy 1 million robo-taxis and 1 million humanoid robots. There are currently 0 of those deployed. There's not one. They're still in beta testing. So he's got a long way to go.
Thank God. I don't need his million robots running around on bots. Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. People often hear the, classic million to a billion comparison of, if a million seconds is 11 and a half days, a billion seconds is 31.7 years. And they go, oh man, that's crazy. 11 days to 31 years. A trillion seconds is 31,700 years.
Wow.
I mean, just to put it into perspective of how much money $1 trillion is, it's just you can't wrap your head around it. Yeah, but like, it's crazy that number is even getting talked about. You know what I mean? As a amount of money that somebody could specifically own.
Right. It's completely insane. Like, remember when we were kids and Bill Gates was the richest dude in the world with $40 billion, and now we're talking about $1 trillion in 20 years. It's so insane.
What's so crazy about it is, like, rich people used to at least give us libraries and centers. You know what I mean? like halls and center, like Rockefeller Center, Carnegie Hall, Vanderbilt University. These guys don't give us anything. These rich tech guys.
No.
We don't get Musk Library or like Musk University. You know what I mean? Like, where are the donations? There used to at least be a little bit of performance with these rich people, that they actually cared. What happened to that? Why are they so comfortable looking so horrible? Like, where did we go wrong? I'd kill for a Rockefeller Center type thing from freaking Zuck. We don't get any of that crap anymore.
Right. It's just now more than ever, like, being shamelessly proud of pursuing more billions on top of billions is seen as like a positive thing among MAGA and Musk fans. Whereas it used to be like, yeah, like you said, like, you at least have to try to publicly give to charity.
Yeah, exactly. There used to be like, oh, I might have all this money, but I really care about the community, stuff like that. People like, these guys don't care at all. And no one cares that they don't care. And yeah, it just should disgust people. I mean, this is so wild, man. But speaking about catty men, I'm only saying this because it's in the title. Rick, you found a story about our beloved George Santos, known from being maybe the biggest liar in modern political history. He, according to the news, got pretty catty with Curtis Sliwa. What is this all about?
Yeah, so Curtis Sliwa has many cats, is into fostering cats. Obviously, Sliwa, like we talked about, Republican candidate against Zohran. So George Santos, 1 week after Trump commuted his sentence, tweeted, quote, "Fuck you, Curtis Sliwa. I hate you, your dumb wife, that stupid beret of yours, and all your fucking cats." So
what the fuck?
George Santos had a tough morning, I guess.
He's a piece of work, that guy. Well, and also to speak to the credibility of the show, Rick and I, to go behind the curtain here, keep a live document where we put interesting news stories up. And I had gotten baited by a meme that he was hired by the Department of Justice, George Santos, that is, this week. And fact checker Rick caught it. So, you can trust that these sources are, fully vetted. We don't lie on this show, because that would have been such a juicy story.
Seriously. And honestly, the fact that Trump even pardoned him is insane. And so, like, he probably will give him a job. Like, it's a pretty realistic fake story.
That's why I bought it.
Fake so far.
It seems so real. But I think that's it for most of the news. Am I missing anything?
No, I think that's it.
All right, then I think we know what time it is.
It's time for Rick's Cultural Corner.
She gets cut off too quickly, Linda. I got to keep your mic live. My bad, Linda.
Busy woman. She's already running out the door.
Exactly. She goes right back into her AI pod. Oh, man, we need a new AI staff. Maybe the Lonely Liberal needs one of those chore robots. Start running things around here.
Yeah. one of those racial robots we talked about last week.
Exactly. We'll have to wait till the white ones are back in stock.
So this week, former Vice President Dick Cheney died at the age of 84 from complications of pneumonia and vascular disease. He had survived...
Sorry. I'm sorry.
No applause break for announcing Zohran won, but Dick Cheney's death gets a womp womp.
dumb idiot.
No, that was great.
Why do people listen to this show? Yeah, I should have done the cheering. We have the applause sound effect. Oh man. Anyways, yes. Well, I mean, would it have been better if I'd done? I mean, that would have been a little bit worse. Or this one. I feel like out of the three.
Yeah. The live studio audience was not a fan of Dick Cheney.
We can't control the audience, folks. Linda, stop laughing. It's a
Rein
man's
him in.
life. It's a man's life, Linda.
So rest in peace, Dick.
F in the chat.
I thought we'd revisit one of my favorite news stories of all time, to be honest. And some of our listeners are probably too young to remember it because they weren't following the news in 2006. But on February 11th, 2006, in Texas, the sitting Vice President Dick Cheney shot his friend in the face. Applause, please. No.
Oh, wait. Yeah, wait. Please laugh.
So Dick Cheney was quail hunting in Texas with his friend Harry Whittington. While Harry was retrieving a downed bird, another bird flew, and Cheney mistook his elderly friend for a bird and shot him in the face, neck, and torso.
Multiple shots.
Yeah. He had a 28 gauge shotgun. It was filled with bird shot, so, not as lethal as regular ammunition.
Thankfully.
But still potentially deadly if you get hit in the face at close range by your best friend. It was, so this obviously was, for those that don't remember, this was like the biggest news story of the year. The current vice president shooting his friend in the face. It was the first, this, on the Wikipedia page, had this weird stat. It was the first time someone had been shot by a sitting U.S. vice president since Alexander Hamilton was shot in a duel by Aaron Burr in 1804. And it's like, yeah, I would have guessed that was the only other time that happened.
Exactly. It's not like that's a common, like, oh, yeah, classic.
The local sheriff office said no charges were filed and there was no alcohol or misconduct involved. Whittington would actually suffer a minor heart attack during his recovery. However, he did live, and actually he lived until age 95 when he passed away 2 years ago. Now, famously, the victim actually apologized to Dick Cheney the day after.
For looking too much like a quail.
Yeah. He released his own statement saying him and his family were deeply sorry for all Vice President Cheney and his family had to deal with this week. He released that statement while his face was covered in bandages.
Poor guy. He lived to 95. We can't feel bad for him.
No.
That's a good life.
Days after the shooting, Cheney called it one of the worst days of his life. We got to focus on Dick Cheney being the victim in this. President Bush commented, quote, "The vice president was involved in a terrible accident and it profoundly affected him." Like
for Dick.
Literally everyone, Bush, Dick himself, and the victim are all worried about Dick Cheney after this. They're all so concerned about the well-being of the dude that shot his friend.
It's unbelievable.
And we actually got an update on this story in 2018. Whittington gave an interview in which he gave an update on his health. He said, quote, "I'm able to navigate and get around. I still have a lot of quiet pellets, but some of them had to be lifted and removed. When I go to the doctors, they all want to look at my pellets that I still have."
Stop saying it like that.
Usually everybody in the clinic wants to come look. I get a lot of questions and discussions about it.
His pellets? Wait, what is that? What does that mean?
When I go to the doctors, they all want to look at my pellets. They were never able to get the pellets out. Like, the pellets 20 years later were still ingrained in his face and neck.
What do you mean ingrained? Like that he had bumpy? Like he was bumpy?
I assume there were some bumps.
Were they too deep? I mean, we all have some bumps. But wait a minute. So people were like, let me see those bumps. So they got stuck in his body and then his skin just grew over it?
Yeah, and I assume at his age it would have been riskier to go in and remove them.
It's just like so weird. Have you seen them? Is there any pictures of his bumps?
I haven't seen any. I've seen the photo of him a few days after where it's like he's all bruised and has huge bandages.
The bandage.
I mean, I assume they got some of the he made it sound like, yeah, I still have a lot of quiet pellets. I assume that means pellets still in his body.
Oh my God. Yeah, he lived a long time though.
Yeah, 95. Yeah, almost 20 years, 17 years after the shooting.
And it's funny that, with Dick no longer with us, he tried for a little bit of a rebrand towards the end of his life, kind of with him and Liz, right? Endorsing Kamala and coming out with Kamala in events.
Yeah, exactly. He took an anti-Trump turn, which makes sense because, like, Dick Cheney was previously the most powerful man in the Republican Party.
He's a John Bolton-like in that way. Like, I feel like.
Yeah, so it makes sense that he was like, I hate this new guy.
So remembering Dick, you know what I mean, and all his ups and downs of his life. Okay, so one thing that I wanted to ask you when I saw we were going to be talking Dick is he's really taken the fall for all of the Iraq war and Afghanistan and stuff like that. And basically when anyone blames George Bush for anything, people always go, he was getting puppeteered by Dick Cheney. Has there ever been any proof that that's true? Like, why do people say that so confidently?
It's a good question. It is. It's kind of like universally accepted that he was the most powerful vice president in U.S. history.
Yeah. And I don't know why. Like, maybe I'm just missing. I just haven't read something that's obvious.
Right. I mean, he was very involved as far as like being in all the meetings and as far as national security and 9/11 response and stuff goes. I think it's that combined with Bush seems like a dumb, nice guy.
That's what I think it is. I think it's Bush's, charismatic, aloof demeanor.
Yeah, totally. But I agree that like Bush shouldn't get a pass on his disastrous presidency because he comes off like a nice, funny, dumb guy.
It's unbelievable. I feel like people want to give him the benefit of the doubt so badly. Almost like that was the only way they could wrap their head around it, is if it was just really Dick Cheney pulling the strings. But
right, exactly. But they were both.
I mean, it's overstated, right? Like that Bush is more to blame than kind of the legacy would suggest.
For sure, and you even see Colin Powell, who was he Secretary of Defense or State under Bush?
Condoleezza Rice was defense. State. So it must have been.
Oh, defense. She was. No, Rice was second term. Colin Powell was first term of George W. Bush, Secretary of State. I just looked it up.
Nice.
So Colin Powell, who famously endorsed Obama against McCain, which was this giant deal, like that this Bush administration neoconservative guy endorsed Obama. But Colin Powell also gets a lot of the blame for the Iraq war because he's the one that like went to Congress on behalf of the Bush administration and convinced Congress to vote to approve invading Iraq. So like he also gets. Like, Powell and
massive.
Cheney combined get so much of the blame. And Bush, I don't know. Especially now that we're in Trump world and we're so desperate for somebody to just, like, be a normal, nice person that, like, George Bush looks great by comparison sometimes. But, yeah, in general, it's pretty lucky, honestly, from George Bush's point of view, that, like, he had this evil, serious man as vice president that could just take all the blame.
Seriously. And Trump in general is really helping out his legacy, because I felt like when Bush left, that was like, people thought that was the bottom, right? Like they were like, this is it. This is a low point for the presidency. And now with Trump being an absolute maniac in the way he is, I mean, he's basically made George Bush look not bad at all. Like, in a lot of ways. People yearn for him.
Right.
And yeah, and also his post-president painting, being a painter, I feel like that helped a lot too.
Yeah, I mean, people think Obama should be doing more. Like, where has Bush been? Bush has completely, he literally became like a recluse.
He hides in his ranch and just paint. He never leaves. He's an interesting, we should do a deep, he'd be a good corner. What the hell is going on with Bush? George Picasso? Well, I was laughing like, well, now, we talked about it a lot last week. The U.S. may be invading Venezuela for oil, so we'll be remembering Dick Cheney somehow.
Yes, of course.
We'll never really let him out of our hearts. We always will need to get oil somehow and justify it with some silly war. That will never go out of vogue in American politics, apparently. I just feel so weird. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, last question and then we'll wrap it up. Would you ever go hunting? With Liz Cheney.
Oh,
definitely not with any Dick, Tom, or Larry. No Cheneys. No. Hunting in general, not with Dick. Well, Dick is no longer with us.
Of course.
Pneumonia got him.
Yeah, I would. I'm of the mindset of, like, if you eat meat, you probably shouldn't be, like, morally opposed to hunting. Like, it's your right whether you want to be a hunter or not, but, like, you probably shouldn't be super opposed to it if you consume meat regularly. I would for the experience. I mean, it sounds like a lot of it is waiting around in nature. Like, that's like 99%. So yeah, I would. How about you?
I'm a huge wuss in general, and I have a tough time. You're pretty ruthless killing bugs. I'm even scared with bugs.
True.
I'll pause. You slam them like the spiders. I've never seen someone kill a spider faster than you. You're an absolute maniac when it comes to killing spiders. I've never seen anyone. Boom, no pause at all. I pause. I get nervous.
I'm the Dick Cheney of killing insects.
Dude, bugs are like, Jesus Christ. I'm surprised they even try you anymore when they've seen how quickly you'll snap at them. I would go for maybe like ducks, like a bird, because I agree with you about the Quail, I could see myself quailing. I would never, though, do, like, game hunting, like, like a bear or a lion or something that you wouldn't eat. It would have to be something I was going to eat, Like, I think like, shooting a lion is crazy with, like, a gun, I feel like if they're going to game hunt, it should be crossbow only. Even the playing field out a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
But I don't. No, I mean, people say it's a conservation thing. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. Yeah, I don't know. That's the other thing, too. It's just like, you have to get the right crowd if you're going hunting. You know what I mean? We see one wrong Cheney in that group. And
yeah.
You can end up with, some quiet pellets for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you got to test your friend's eyesight before you go out there.
And so lastly, before we really head out, I wanted to read our last question we got that is completely not related to anything we've been talking about.
My favorite.
But I'm glad we got it asked. So this is from Paul, and again, no place, but he just simply asked both of us what we've been listening to. So I guess like music, what music are we into, which I really appreciate. Thank you. I'm glad people are interested if we're listening to music.
Yeah, great question.
So Rick, what have you been? What's in the shuffle? I don't even know. What's in the playlist? I don't know what the hell people say.
So I've been obsessed for like the past year with this band that covers 90s hip hop songs. Like, they do instrumental covers of beats from the 90s. They're called OMA. They're a British group. Highly recommend them. They're kind of like my go-to if like I'm working or like want something in the background. So that has also sent me down the rabbit hole of like 90s, 2000s hip hop and R&B a little bit. So I've been listening to some like Mary J. Blige and stuff like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, like whatever Kiss 108 was playing in the year 2000.
You're listening to a lot of, J-Lo as the J-Lo and, your lips, your eyes.
Ja Rule.
Ja Rule, there he is. Yeah,
Ciara. Yeah.
Love it when you call me big baby. Yeah.
Windows down, just blasting. Get low, get low.
Boom, 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 boom.
Ba-da-dun, dun, dun.
You're a middle school dance now. You were just doing chores to get low. Rum, 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 dum, dum. Hey, those are bangers. Those are good songs.
Watch yourself. Yeah.
She moves her body like a cyclone. And you're just dusting. No, those are good. I mean, hey, you know me. I'm a huge Timberland fan. So those Nelly Furtado songs, those Justin Timberlake songs, I mean, those are amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So that's been on my mind. Obviously, like, was in a huge Oasis phase the past 6 months.
That's what I thought you were going to say, because I know you've been in your Oasis kick.
Yeah, I'm still on it. Their reunion tour has been, like, amazing. I love when bands come back after, like, 10 or 20 years off and they sound as good or better than they ever had. Like, that's pretty rare. Like, usually the expectations are really low, and if they sound, like, 80% as good, it's a success. Whereas, like, Oasis, like, actually sounds better live than they ever had in their prime in the 90s, which I just think is so cool.
I mean, yeah, they're awesome. Those are good.
How about you, though? What have you been listening to?
I mean, I've been so interested. So, okay, two answers to the question. One is obviously I made the wedding playlist at the weddings. I've been listening to. I was really trying to hone in on a good, dancey but also schmoozy playlist. Similarly to you, probably a lot of 2000s pop and R&B for that at least. I've been on an Alabama Shakes kick since the concert you and I went to a few weeks ago. I think they're just awesome. I've been also on a Winehouse kick again. I just cannot get enough of that lady. She's so good. But other than that, I listen to a lot of like lo-fi when I'm doing work and stuff like that, and like jazzy stuff. But
I love lo-fi in general.
It's so good. Like I just any type of instrumentally lo-fi type. It's just so nice. Also, I'd be lying if I said it. The K-pop Demon Hunter soundtrack. That's in my rotation. I was very pleased to see Golden from the movie get 4 Emmy nominations. I'm hoping it wins every single nomination.
I gotta check that. I'm like totally ignorant of that whole phenomenon, so I gotta. It's a movie, right, on Netflix?
Yes. I would say the instrument, like those songs, kind of sound like old Backstreet Boys NSYNC songs, but sung by cool K-pop girls.
Yeah,
that'd be. But they're girl band, boy band. It's not surprising, right? A little funny. Little anecdote about that, actually. So we were talking about it, but I don't think I talked about it on the show. So I went to a Berkeley music fundraising gala that they have for, I guess donors. I am not a donor. A friend of ours is a donor, and they had extra tickets. So Hannah and I went. And, it's this fancy gala and stuff like that. And it was cool. But then after the gala, they do breakout rooms where they have different Berkeley groups like performing, which is really cool because you can see all these different genres and stuff like that. And they had a K-pop room, and I went into the K-pop room, and who is in there? Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, Kevin O'Leary, grooving out to a cover of Golden with me. And, I felt confused, but very happy.
That's
for a little
so
bit
insane. And did you say anything to him?
So he was scowling at literally everyone. He seems really angry. Hannah
on brand.
Yeah, exactly. Hannah went up to him and said, "I'm a fan of your work," and he went, "That's nice," and walked away. So that really scared me. But
he said, "If you're not rich, I don't care."
He was in the craziest outfit, like a smoker's jacket, or he also was wearing 2 watches on his wrist, which was really wild.
Wow.
Just so bold move. But yeah, he was. And then after the K-pop performance, he was he loved them. He was with them. He was posing with them, taking photos with them. His attitude changed a lot with the K-pop Demon Hunter girls. But hey, who wouldn't? I mean, they were great. They didn't hit the high note, though. I mean, I got to be honest with you. So in Golden, on the show, because people are probably like, what the hell is this show turning into? Golden, which is the main song from the movie, is a great vocal performance. There's a note that the singer hits. It's so incredible, her vocal range. And I'm wondering if they'll ever do it live because it's such a high note. I'm really curious. You should listen to it and report back to us if you think this is something that you would see live. I think they'd throw out her voice, like if she did it live for like a full show, like multiple, like for on a tour.
Have you ever tried to hit the note while listening in your car?
Many times. And I look at Hannah. I go, "Did I hit it? She goes, "No."
She's got a tuner out.
She goes,
just shy.
No, not even close. Well, Hannah was an acapella.
Oh yeah.
So she I'm surprised she doesn't have that little ding, little fork thing. I hate that. Anyways, all right, that's our show, folks. Rick, thank you per usual. Thanks.
Thank you. See you,
dude. And that's our show, folks. Thank you so much for listening today. If you like the show, please give it a 5-star review on podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen. YouTube, like, subscribe, and please comment. Let me know what you guys think about what we talked about today. Also, you can write us in at thelonelyliberalpodcast@gmail.com. Or if you really want to help me out, you can tell people about the show. Word of mouth is our advertising platform, so it would be very helpful. But we'll be back on Wednesday like we normally are to talk about something good. I don't know yet, but I'll find a good topic. Until then, I'll talk to you later. Bye.